We all know that mortgage rates in Oregon are up by a lot from a few years ago. And if you're a buyer, then you know that something that you could have afforded back then, you may not be able to handle right now. And if you're a seller, you may be noticing that homes in Oregon are sitting on the market longer and they aren't selling for thousands over asking like they used to. We've all seen it, but do you really know the effect that 1%, maybe a 2% increase in mortgage rates do to your buying power here in Oregon? And do you want to know some tips as to how to change that number so that you can get closer to the home that you once could afford? Hey guys, if you don't know me already, my name is Joe Skipper and I'm the owner of Skipper Realty Group, brokered by EXP Realty here in Wilsonville, Oregon. I serve not only the community of Wilsonville, but buyers and sellers in the Portland metro area, as well as the Salem-Keizer areas. So if you are looking to buy or sell in any of these areas, shoot me a text or comment below and we can set up a time to take a look at your home or the area that you want to buy in and start you on the perfect track to make it seamless. And if you haven't already, if you could like and subscribe to this page, this would be a huge help to me. This channel is meant for you as a buyer and a seller in Oregon to know all of the tips and tricks out there to get you into the home that you want for the best price possible, as well as to get you the highest return on your home if you're a seller here in Oregon. This process can be confusing, especially if you don't do it much. So my team and I are here to make it easy, fun, and maximize the value to you. So like and subscribe and let's move on. Today we're going to cover in a little more detail what effect a mortgage rate has on the cost of a home here in Oregon. I will use some examples to show you what kind of cost difference it makes, and more importantly, at the end of this video, I will give you some ideas as to how you can get a discounted rate and get you into the Oregon home that you want for the price and the monthly payment that you want. So let's get started with a calculation we can do on the average home price here in Wilsonville, Oregon. So as of February, the median sold price in Wilsonville was $635,000. This was for a single family home, so it doesn't take into account condos, apartments, and multiplexes, but it gives us a good number to work with. And let's travel back in time and say that the going interest rate for a mortgage was 3%. That wasn't unheard of in the COVID years, so let's use that number. We're going to put what the standard down payment generally is and put 20% down. So 20% of $635,000 is $127,000. For those that don't know, what the down payment is the amount that you're going to put up front on this sale. So basically, it's the cash that you need to actually close this deal. The mortgage you're going to get is the difference in the amount you put down and the remaining left to buy that home. And just a side note, that number can fluctuate from 0% to whatever you want to put down and depending on the loan type that you have. If you want to know more about specific loans where you can put as little as 0 down on a home, give me a call and we can chat about those options. Today we're going to use 20% as our good number for now. So $635,000 minus the amount you're putting down, which was 20% or $127,000, turns out to be a $508,000 mortgage. There are mortgage calculators all over Google, so you can play around with these numbers to see how different numbers can really affect your payments. But in this case, we have those numbers, and let's put it at 30-year fixed loan at 3%. When you put all these numbers in, you come out with a total monthly payment of $2,988 for your monthly mortgage. That includes an $8,000 in property taxes and homeowners insurance of about $2,200 a year. This does not include HOA dues or private mortgage insurance, so you would need to factor that in as well if you're buying a home that has an HOA. So total, we're about $3,000 a month for an average home in the Wilsonville, Oregon area. Now I quickly ran some of the stats for the Portland metro home and a home in Salem, Oregon, and came up with the following monthly payments of $2,100 a month for a Salem home and $2,500 per month for a Portland metro home. So these numbers aren't too crazy overall. Still a lot of money, but with rents how they were, it seemed reasonable to buy at those rates because it was so close to the rent cost. And as you know, paying into your own mortgage rather than paying someone else's is going to build you wealth over time, and you can use your home as leverage to either get some cash out for repairs on it or remodels or to buy other homes. Anyways, let's take a look at what rates are now and the price change that happens on your monthly payment with an increase to today's mortgage rates. For the Wilsonville area, I changed nothing but the interest rate for the same type of loan that we used for the earlier calculation. The difference may be a bit shocking, but by going to today's rates, which I checked today is at 6.87, your monthly mortgage payment would now be $4,182 per month. This is over $1,000 more than the same home cost a couple years ago at that lower rate. Salem mortgage payments would go up to $2,900 per month, and Portland would go up to $3,491 per month. This is actually really insane, and even though I know what mortgage rates can do to a monthly payment, it's shocking to me to see it every time. So to compare, let's use the Wilsonville numbers and keep the interest rates at 3%, but let's change the cost of the home. The median sale price was $635,000, and the monthly payment at 3% was $2,988 per month. If we increased the home by $100K in cost to $735,000 but kept the same rate, the monthly payment would be $34.59 per month. You see how the price change doesn't affect your mortgage payment nearly as much as a rate change does. That's why when we had such low rates, buyers were able to afford a significantly bigger and nicer and pricier home than they are now. And that's why we see sellers that got homes during that time are reluctant to get back into the buying market at the rates that we currently have. I will say that rates in the 5 to 6% range are more like what we're going to see in the foreseeable future. Rates in the 2 to 3% were artificially given to us because of COVID. People got used to it for sure and loved it obviously, but it's not the norm, and the sooner we can get our minds into that 5 and 6 number, I think the more the market's going to stabilize and work for most of us. And there are a couple ways to get that rate to where you need it to buy a home right now. So here are 2 ways to get a rate that is more comfortable for you and your ideal monthly payment. The first thing you can do is ask if the seller will contribute to a 2-1 buy down. What this is a program that some lenders use to buy down your rate temporarily. What the seller does is really just buy down your rate for a short period of time. We'll just use random numbers, but say the rate is 7% currently. You can ask the seller to contribute to the 2-1 buy down that would bring the rate the first year of your mortgage to say 5%. Then the second year it goes to 6%. Then the third year it's back at that 7%. A couple things with this. You still have to qualify for the amount that you want to buy the home for, even if the rate is lower that first and second year. And be aware that the rate is obviously temporary, so you need to be prepped to pay the mortgage at the final rate after those 2 years. But a lot of people use that for the short term with the thinking that they will just refinance the loan when the rates get better. Now, we don't know when that is or if it will, so it's a bit of a risk, but experts are predicting rates to drop over the next year or so it could be a great option to save you some monthly money for the shorter term. The other option is just to buy down your own rate. You can do this one or both ways. If you have some cash on hand, say the 20% down, you maybe can configure your mortgage to only put 10% down and use the other 10% to buy down your rate. Or you can ask the seller to contribute to your closing costs. This is going to leave you with more cash on hand to do something like that, like dropping your rate. These options are readily available and is really something to at least talk to your lender about and see if it works for you for what you're looking to do. Now, if you need a good lender or a group of lenders to help you, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with some of the best. In Oregon, you really need a good team to help you get into a home with how these rates are today. It's not as easy anymore to do it, but there are a ton of options out there that can save you thousands of dollars. It's just knowing the right people. If you want a buyer's guide sent directly to you so you can see what the process is like and also what it's like working with me and my team to purchase your next home, comment below or call me and we can talk about your specific situation. I get it, this process can be complicated, so having a team that knows what they're doing is going to save you in money and stress. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this page in order to stay up to date with the latest on the Oregon housing market and also tips and tricks for buyers and sellers in the Wilsonville and Portland metro areas. Thanks, guys.